Morning, it's April 27th, 2011. Garden update. These are my cabbage. I got rid of the red cabbage. They were not doing much at all except pretty much just withering and leaves getting brown and dying off. I've just cleaned up the white cabbage and took all the what looked like sun damage, but I'm thinking it might be some kind of a blight or something because I do have blight on my tomato plants here. I don't know if you can see on the stem. And if you look on the leaves, you can see the spots there. But I do got a good deal of tomatoes. It's not affecting the fruit at this point, but we'll see. This is a spaghetti squash, which inside there is a nice big spaghetti squash. And there's another one. This one's, I'm just kind of waiting on turning color a little more, but that's heavy. And all my long cayenne peppers here. Tabascos are just starting to set out their first fruits. That's a Tabasco as well. I've got my cabbage up here, which are doing just fine. The spots you see on these are just from the milticide that I put on them. There's the center garden. And cucumber's doing really well. Got to get another tomato cage to put on top of that one to create a topiary of sorts, because they're getting to be too much for where they're at. And carrots are doing real good. They're in the middle there. These four corners here are Armenian cucumbers. You see, there's a little one starting right there. Bees are really happy to do the work on those for me with all those little flowers. Got plenty of mint. There's my 4 habaneros. Another cucumber that's kind of late in starting. These are my ancient sweet peppers. And if you notice, they're actually flowering. And if you look right there, there's one of my workers right as we speak doing his little thing. So thank you, Mr. B. And that's the reason why we have such good cucumbers and produce back here. These are my peas, which are on over a 6-foot trellis, and they're now about 8 feet. And we've got some cucumbers and beans growing in there as well. Again, sweet peppers, another habanero. And you can see there's a cucumber there. It's the second one off of that vine. Again, more cucumbers. We eat a lot of cucumbers, so I just grew a whole bunch of them this year. And basil up in the front. And behind it more as a second row. This is my dill. These are Mexicali peppers up in the front. And if you come across these are Hungarian waxes. They're just starting to flower and put on fruit as well. Little miscellaneous peppers that I've got started. Should be ready for summertime. And there's my corn, which is now about 5 foot tall. And the habaneros off to the side. Doing really well. This stuff is just, it's so sturdy. First time growing corn again. Here, kind of a volunteer squash from some seeds I threw down. My pole beans, which probably today I'll put the actual pole in there. They're not climbing up the fence as well as I would have liked. Another butternut squash, kind of just pop up from seeds. More corn. Another pole bean there against the fence post. These are my Cuban sweet peppers, growing in boots. These are my Thai chili peppers, which are, again, they're setting fruit now. I don't know if you can see. Little peppers, this little habanero, got its head cut off and it's still kicking, but and I've got my heirloom better boy there, which is doing good. And again, it's fruiting and has no signs of blight or anything. It's doing really well. It's a nice tomato plant right there. Got Another volunteer squash. These are my 3 Bootjalakia plants, which are doing extremely well. Hottest pepper in the world. Here's my okra bed, which it's finally taken off, and I just cut some of the fruits off of it, and I'll probably slice them up and fry them maybe in the next couple days. Here's some sage. These are Hungarian wax peppers here. Growing a lot of different peppers. I got the brassicas, Brussels sprouts growing around the circle of my kumquat tree with lavender filling in the center. And we've got another cucumber growing in the pot here, which I've thinned out significantly because it was showing signs of powdery mildew. So again, last night we treated it with mildewcide and stuff, but this is typically what's happening. You'll see them kind of get that, and then they'll start to get little holes, and then they'll eventually just kind of get all crusty. So I'm trying to keep that from happening. And these are more Cuban sweet peppers I got growing in the boots. That's those ancient sweets. It's much shorter. Miscellaneous. I'm going to show you my eggplant here because it's just going nutty. And you can see this thing just will not stop producing eggplants. They're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got a dozen eggplants on that plant. And it's about 1.5 feet tall, not even 2 feet. And again, if you look up here, you see flowers getting ready to spit off again. So spaghetti squash here not doing so good. Don't think it gets enough light. Not a big deal. See if anything changes over the season. It's my potato bin. My potatoes vertical. See how that pans out this year. Again, that's the center garden, nice and bushy. All pan view. Then we got hay down in the backyard. And I'm getting ready to go ahead and fertilize and put my fish oil down. That's the garden. Again, it's February 27th. And happy gardening.